So in this video, we are going to be talking about a complete beginner's guide to API. What is it? How do you use it? More importantly, how can you use APIs in your business to automatically control programs for you to get stuff done that is profitable work? APIs have radically transformed the way that I view investing in tools online, especially with automation workflows like N8N. I'm going to be breaking down to you a complete crash course to help you to understand and start using APIs today. And this is great for no coders. Here in my YouTube channel, Simplify AI with Enoch, my motto is AI tutorials so simple your grandma can follow. So I thought, why not have an actual grandma online to teach her about APIs, because she's interested in knowing how to use this. So I have my mom here, Deborah. Say hello.
Hello.
Now, are you a grandma?
I'm a grandma.
And do you understand coding?
No,
And do you want to know about APIs?
I do.
Okay, cool. So we're going to have a conversation, and I think that by me teaching my mom here about how to use API and also how to use it for your business, then there's a lot of value that you can get from it. So getting started with API, first of all, what kind of questions do you have about this?
I'm not sure what API is. I hear it back and forth here and there, and I understand that it has something to do with different apps, but that's about as far as my understanding really is with it.
Yeah, that's how I was for several years too. And one of the first times I really got interested to want to know about APIs because I found this like Notion scheduler tool, and it was allowing people to schedule content using Notion. And I thought that was the coolest thing, to be able to upload something. Yeah, this Notion scheduler app, how you can upload to Notion and then schedule to Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. And I was like, I want to be able to do that. How can I do something like that? And he was explaining how it's through the API that allows you to do that. And I was just thinking, I don't know anything about API, but I need to figure out what to do this, how to use it. And I avoided it for quite a while because I thought it was too technical. But in this video, I'm going to demystify and make it a lot more simple. So
Yeah, it sounds intimidating.
yeah. Now, a lot of times we ask like, okay, what does API stand for? And I'll tell you right now, after 5 months of using APIs and automating hundreds of like workflows, it's not hundreds of workflows, but workflows that have saved my team and I hundreds of hours, I don't fully understand I don't know what API stands for. Neither do I really care, because for all intents and purposes, just understand API is like, let's say it stands for allowing programs to interact. That's basically what it does. Because when you hear what it actually means, there's some acronyms that when you learn it, it's so technical that you're just like, what do I do with that information? So I'm making it more simple. Just think API is allowing programs to interact. And what that really means is that what I learned through talking to ChatGPT is that an API is kind of like a Lego block. It's a building block where a lot of people who want to develop solutions or tools or AI products or software, rather than starting from the ground up from scratch to build all this functionality, for example, what I found for years, I use a tool called remove.bg. And this will remove the backgrounds automatically from your images. And it's just like this guy, it's really cool. So I've used this for years and I thought that was pretty neat. Then I found out that, and as you can see, there is an API that you can use for removing the background. But then I found out that Canva actually, Canva bought out the
Remove background.
Yeah, remove background. So what it allows you to do is just like this image here, this had a background, but I removed it using Canva's feature that is now, as you can see, it says remove background, BG remover. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
So what I thought was really cool is once I learned that even a lot of these AI tools that Canva has, or in a big popular app like Canva, they're not even just building these things from scratch, just like you and I can. They're actually using APIs that have already existed, like Remove BG, to allow added functionality and features into their programs. Does that part make sense?
Yes.
So one of the biggest mistakes that I learned when migrating or coming into the worlds of automation and workflows is one thing that I stopped doing was investing in tools that don't have an API. And what I started to do is tools like AppSumo, where they give lifetime deals on an awesome business software, or other tools that I use. Like, for instance, I use Otter AI for a while to transcribe my content or transcribe workshops or meetings or all sorts of cool things. And I've been paying Otter for a while, but when I learned about API is like a door that allows us to control or have plug in or like a Lego block where it plugs two different apps together. So let's say I have content on Notion and I have a video on there, then I want it to be transcribed. If Otter has an API, then I could use that program to grab the transcript from my video and put it on Notion using Notion's API and Otter's API. Are you following me so far?
Yeah, can I ask a question?
Yeah, please do it anytime.
So on this picture that you have up there, it says, does Otter offer an open API? Does open API mean something other than API?
That's a great question. I would guess that it has something to do with, usually, like I asked, is it a public API? If it's public, that means you and I can use it. And you asked before we recorded, are all APIs free? I'd say many APIs are free, many are not. So a lot of times there's tools like, for instance, Google Slides. Actually, I'll have it on here. What I learned is Otter does not have a public API. Open, public, I think they mean the same thing. But in other words, I found out that I cannot use Otter AI transcription service automatically through these tools. I have to manually go into their user interface. I have to log into my Otter account on their website, otter.ai, and then I have to upload files. So I have to manually do it if I'm going to get the benefit of the tool. So instead, what I learned about was a tool called Uniscribe, and I bought a lifetime deal on AppSumo, which this converts audio and video into text. It's the same thing that Otter AI does, but the cool thing about this is they have an API. So I can actually I can send files to this service and convert it into transcriptions. Sometimes if you want to know if there's an API, you could sometimes it's in frequently asked questions. A lot of times if it's not up there, usually in the top menu, you'll see if it exists. But if it's not in the top menu, you can scroll all the way down to the footer, and it doesn't exist here either. But other times you can Google Uniscribe API, and when you search for it, there's Uniscribe, but I think that's a different one. This didn't seem like it showed up, but on AppSumo, what I did is I actually went to their deal, Uniscribe AppSumo, and here's Uniscribe. It's a pretty cool deal here, and I wonder if they're sold out, and for good reason. But what I did is I scrolled down to see what others are saying, and then you could search here. And I just type in API. Literally, that's the only question I ask now. And if they don't have an API, I just pass. I'm like, not interested. And it says, can I get your software to use instead of Whisper API? Whisper is OpenAI, the parent company of ChatGPT. They have a voice to transcript tool. And they say we do support an open API. So that means that we can use Uniscribe automatically through these automation tools. So when I saw that, I'm like, I'm in, I'm gonna buy it. And now I've got 6,000 minutes a month for a lifetime, which is extremely generous because I was paying Otter 6,000 minutes a month, and it's just like, this is amazing. So I'll never have to pay for transcription services again, and I could do it all automatically, and I can use Innate to be able to take Notion videos, transcribe them using this, and then upload the transcript back to my Notion calendars.
And that does it all by itself without having to get into that program ever again.
Yeah, I do not have to log in. I use this, like, I don't know, 5 times a day, but I never log into their actual website here because I don't need to. And if I go to the dashboard, here I am logged in, and you could see we're on October 24, and I've used it multiple times this week, and on the 15th I did these. All of this is done automatically through Innate, and I've got 12 pages of, like, this is 12 pages of videos. Here's an hour, and here's like a 2-hour video, hour and 14-minute video, 58, and I'm able to transcribe all of my content, and every month it replenishes. Like, now I've still got 6,000 minutes, which is really convenient. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, and I could do it from YouTube videos too, but the point is not about transcription. The point is, does it have an API? That was a question that I learned to ask before investing in any tool. And what I learned is that not all tools do. So, like Google Voice, I was using Google Voice to text people, and then I thought, well, I want to send text messages automatically. Does Google Voice do it? No, there's no API. Here's a Google search, and I found the answer. So what I had to do is learn to replace the tools with no API access, and then find ones that did. Like, for instance, let's say you want to clip a long form video into short form reels, shorts, TikToks, things like that, right? Mm-hmm. And I use different clipping tools to do that, from Content Fries, Video.ai, Opus Clip is very popular. You remember Descript. And I bought a lifetime deal on Minvo, which I thought that was pretty cool. I liked it because it was lifetime, but I found that even when you buy these apps, you still have to, like, either hire a team. You either have to hire a team to get in there, learn the tool, and then use it. They got to schedule time in their day to actually get the benefit of your investment. Or you have to use your own time in order to log into a tool, and you have to schedule it regularly to actually use it with the learning curve of the interface and all that stuff. But what I realized is you can automate. If the tool has an API, you can automatically make it run in the background of your business through these workflow automations, which, go ahead.
So the ones that you're showing on the screen don't have APIs?
Clap did have an API, but they were a mess to deal with, and I was going back and forth, and it didn't work. I was waiting for like 4 days, 5 days, trying to get my API key to generate. So I kept searching. I moved on, and then I found Vizard. Vizard AI is the tool that I use now that has a clipping and it has the API. Now, this API is not free. So sometimes there will be softwares that, in order for you to access their API, you have to pay for their subscription. See what I was mentioning right here? That a lot of times they'll put API right there in the top browser. Mm-hmm. So actually, I'm going to change this view so we can see each other a bit more. Now, let me turn that off. There we go. So this one, in order to use their API, I'm going to click that. And a lot of times it's going to either go to a sales page about their API, which this is a sales page, or they're going to go to your documents of API, which I'll show you how to navigate the documents. So this is telling you why you want to use the API. And if you're going to start building, you have to sign up. But the way that theirs works, let's say read documentation, or here, there's often a Q&A session or a section, and you could see how much does it cost. There's no additional fees for using the API. However, it's going to consume credits, and you get credits based on your plan's allowance. So this one, we have to subscribe to a monthly plan on here in order to access it. So for $30 a month, you get 7,200 credits, which allows you to clip your videos. Whereas Clap does the same service, and they were going to charge like 50 cents per video that you export. Essentially, each reel would be about 50 cents. This one, you can do, one credit is 1 minute. So you could do unlimited clips from a video, but that video is going to take, like if it's 60 minutes, it's going to take 60 credits, which I've never maxed out my credits. This is fairly generous too, but it is $30 a month.
But that doesn't go 60 minutes worth of the cutout that you did. It takes the whole video and it counts for that.
Correct. Yeah. So
Wow.
if it's a 60-minute video, then it's 60 credits, and then from that video, once it's like already processed through Vizard, the API, I can export or clip as many short videos that I want to, at whatever length I desire.
Mm.
And
That's kind of nice.
yeah, I think it's wonderful, because that used to take my video editor. Her doing it manually took about well, there was one professional editor who was quoting me, it takes him about 4 hours to edit one video using Premiere. And I was like, wow, that's a long time. And it took my video editor, Katharina, about, she said it was like 40 minutes to do one video using like content fries, which I was showing you before here. Using content fries, it took her about 40 minutes. And then I switched to Minvo, and then she was able to get it down to about 14 minutes per video. But then we switched over to this API through N8N automation. Let's see, where are we at? Right here. And now she's able to do one video. She's able to do, it's like 20 videos with one click of a button on Notion.
Wow.
You see how different that is? You
Yeah.
click the button, she's able to work on other projects, and then she comes back and our Notion is loaded with different clips that we're able to use.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool. And it's because we have the N8N automation using their API. If they didn't have an API that I could use, I would be having my team spend 14 minutes per video. And if I want to release a video a day, then that's, I mean, do the math, that adds up pretty quickly, right?
Yeah.
And this is what blew my mind, because it was hard to maintain the work of using Minvo. Even though Minvo was so much faster, 14 minutes per video versus the 40 minutes on Content Fries, or the 4 hours that a professional editor would take on Premiere, then you still have to log in and prioritize it and then learn the tool and be consistent with it. And there's those human elements you have to deal with. All of that is gone when you have a workflow automation taking care of these clips. Isn't that neat?
That's really neat.
So here's another example of what I learned. Before using workflow automations like N8N, I was using Canva a lot, but Canva they have an API, but it's limited. You don't get access to all their features. In order for you to like automatically populate text on a slide that you want, you need to pay their enterprise, which starts at like $3,000 a month. So that's really for corporate companies.
My.
Right? So Canva for several years did not have an API. They started to now, but it's very limited. You can't really make the templates. But Google Slides has a free API. This is free to use. They don't charge you for a monthly subscription. You could just plug in your credentials to connect to your account on N8N, and you're able to start creating slide presentations, which I have done that. and I can, with one click of a button every week, I have a slide presentation of a video that I can record, and we have people from around the world who tune in live, and then they watch the replays afterwards, and that's for our weekly Bible studies.
Nice.
Isn't that cool?
That's really cool.
So I already talked about Men Voted Vizard, and now I learned this new tool from Stephen Pope. He has like a NCA toolkit that will actually allow me to replace this subscription, but I haven't set it up yet. But that's what I'm going to be exploring, and that'll be free through that API, which is cool. Google Voice doesn't have a API, so I use OpenPhone. OpenPhone allows me to text people automatically. Say when they sign up for my web class, I can send them a text message. When they buy a product, I can send them a link. When they join a 5-day challenge I have, I could also send them a text, and that just really simplifies that process. So you want to find tools that have APIs, and many of them do. So now for like using them, let's say you're going to learn about them, how most of these things work is they have like an API key, and that key becomes like a password that you can use. Let's see if I can find it here. There's an API key. Hopefully it is protected. Yes, it is. So if you're going to generate an API key, all you got to do is basically, most of the time when you log in, you could see that there's like settings somewhere, and as you could see, a lot of times they're in the same place. So settings and an API key, and then you just click create new key, and you can name it and claim it, delete later. And I'm going to put leave empty for no expiry. Yeah, I don't want it to expire. Oh no, actually I did, but oh well. So here's a key. So a lot of times they'll say this is the only time you'll see the full API key. So you need to store it somewhere. Store it somewhere safe that you could use it. And when you copy that, this becomes kind of like your username and password with that app. So whatever you do with that app, this is connected to my accounts, my billing, my payments. This is connected here. So this is private. You don't want to share it with people. But from that, you're able to go to...
you can delete that, it looks like.
Yeah, you can, for sure. Which I'm going to delete it later. That's why I labeled it for that. Okay. So there's a delete button. And then when you're logging into your N8N, then in the top right corner, they have two things you could do. One is create workflow, and you hit the drop down, there's create a credential. The credential allows you to basically store your API keys. It's kind of like a password manager. If you've ever had like Chrome say, you want to save your password, or your web browser, you can do that here.
How did you get there? It just automatically takes you there, and you click which...
No, when you first log in, and you are on like the home screen, it looks kind of like this. And in the top right corner, you can select...
All of the APIs look like that?
No, we're on N8N right now. This is where you can actually use the API key.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what I do is you could either create a new credential, or as you can see, there's this tab, which let me make my mouse stand out so you can see it better. And
thanks.
Let me know if this is more clear. Is that more clear to follow?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can select credentials right here, and this will give you a list of like API keys that you have.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Oh, so this is stored on your computer?
No, this is stored on my N8N.
Oh.
So it's kind of like a password manager for your
API
automations. Yeah, your API automations.
Oh, so is that another video for another time?
No,
Or
this is what we're talking about. You mean
is
how to
that
create
always on
credentials?
there?
On your account, this is always on here. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, these
Okay.
don't go away. These are always here.
All right.
And as you start adding tools to your tool stack, like this is my tool stack here. I use Notion a lot, N8N, ChatGPT, like TidyCal for booking calendars, and ClickFunnels. As you start realizing there's tools that you like, what I would do is evaluate your tool stack, uh, the ones that you're familiar with, or the ones that are required to accomplish what you want to do, and um, then think about adding them like step by step. As you start automating your tools, then you just add them to your credentials.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Do you
Hi,
have?
Carl.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I'm going to start wrapping up here, but basically
Okay.
this is just helping to understand how to use APIs and what that looks like. And if you would like to understand more about N8N, then I would encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, where I do Simplify AI with Enoch. There's a lot of tutorials that you could follow, that you could learn about how to automate with workflows. And my goal is to create videos so simple that your grandma could follow them. And I'm going to release more videos there. If you have other questions that you would like to know, then feel free to drop it in the comments. I'll be happy to take a video request.